Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is CARE Government Affairs Director Robert McCaw providing you a post-Capitol Hill event update. Earlier today, we attended Doctors Against Genocide's press conference, which was broken up briefly by Capitol Police before we relocated outside, where you had physicians from across the country advocating in support of Palestinian human rights. Specifically, they were urging for Senate support of Senator Tim Kaine's resolution calling for the U.S. to not occupy Gaza or expel Palestinians, which would be genocide. And also, they spoke in support of Senator Peter Welch's bill that would restore funding to UNRWA, which provides critical relief services in Gaza, which no other international agency could, but this UN agency. They're also calling for the government of Israel to release all prisoners, including doctors, the many doctors that provide critical services that are languishing in prisons. Now we're going to upload some video clips from that press conference and also our interactions with Capitol Police as they forced the press conference outside. CARE was one of the several groups negotiating the restarting of that press conference. So take a look at these videos. Continue to support CARE action alerts. Don't give up the fight and don't stop speaking. Don't stop advocating for yourself or others. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. I stand here today with my colleagues, healthcare workers from all over the United States, doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, veterinary workers. We are united under Doctors Against Genocide to deliver one clear message to the United States Senate. End the genocide, end the forced displacement, act now. We are here because our duty as medical professionals does not stop at the hospital doors. It is our responsibility to protect life, all life, and to sound the alarm when we witness crimes against humanity. What is happening in Palestine and to the Palestinian people now is a genocide. It is funded by our tax money, tax dollars, and we refuse to be complicit. We demand that the Senate take immediate action. First, support the Senate Resolution 68. This resolution reaffirms and affirms what should be obvious. The Palestinian people, like any people, have the right to live, to stay in their homeland, to determine their own future without U.S. military backing for their forced displacement. The United States must not facilitate forced displacement. Second, pass resolution S5388 to restore UNRWA funding. UNRWA provides 70% of primary health care services in Gaza. 80% of Gaza population are refugees, and they are fully dependent on UNRWA. UNRWA also educates 50% of school children in Gaza. They have been doing this for almost 70 to 80 years. They know how to do it, and they are the only ones who know how to do it. And we demand that their funding being restored. Cutting this funding means cutting food, medicine, and education from the hands of millions of refugees. It is a collective punishment. It is inhumane. It is unacceptable. We also demand a permanent ceasefire, not just pauses, not just negotiations, but a complete end to the slaughter of innocent civilians. We demand unrestricted medical and humanitarian aid. We demand the full rebuilding of Gaza at the expense of those who destroyed it, namely the United States and Israel. Gaza hospitals have been bombed into ruins, the doctors killed, its people left to die. That is not who we are as Americans. We demand the release of Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya and his colleagues who are being detained illegally and tortured as we speak. We are here because we believe America can be better and can do better. We believe in the courage of the American people to stand for justice, for humanity, for life. We are the doctors, the healers, the protectors of life. This is what America should stand for. We will not stop until every senator hears us. We demand action. We demand justice. And we demand it now. Thank you. I will pass now to Dr. Olena, the Ukrainian American doctor. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Olena and I'm a nurse practitioner from Massachusetts. I'm also a Ukrainian American, and this past 3 years have been horrible for me. It first started with the Ukrainian war, and I watched my Ukrainian friends and family getting killed, displaced, and attacked. And then when I started seeing pictures from Gaza, it sounded 10 times, 100 times worse. And the images of dying children, mothers, healthcare workers are not letting me sleep at night. And I felt like I need to join the coalition of Doctors Against Genocide and speak up. I feel like we are taking a very wrong turn in this century. The civilians, the children, the mothers, the healthcare workers should never be in the middle of political fight. I'm repeating, they should never be in the middle of political fight. If we allow countries fight and politicians fight and kill as many civilians as they want, it will never stop. We should stand for the rights of civilians, innocent children, mothers, families, and of course for protection of healthcare workers and patients in the hospitals throughout the world. The first demand that we want is an immediate release of all healthcare workers who are detained without any charges. Detaining and harming healthcare workers is the war crime. Second, we want unrestricted medical aid to Gaza to save children. We want the Senate and Congress people to vote for a resolution to restore UNRWA funding. UNRWA is the agency that supports children, families, education, housing, sanitations for people. We cannot wait. We have to save. 4 or more children die every day. We have to support this resolution 5388 to restore UNRWA funding. And lastly, and globally, as a healthcare community, we have to pass the resolution, and we would like one of the senators to draft and sponsor it to protect healthcare workers and institutions in war zones. We should never see another child, another hospital attacked again. We're going to stand in solidarity as a Ukrainian people, as people of the world, as healthcare workers with civilians in any war zones. And we should never allow genocide to happen ever again. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. My name is Dr. Azra Hussaini. I am an internal medicine physician from Baltimore, Maryland. I make home visits and facility visits to people who are unable to come to the doctor's office because they are anxious, or they are amputated, or they are too old. I have, since the last 500 days or more, since the war or the war crimes on Gaza have been committed, I have written many letters to the American Board of Internal Medicine, to the American Academy of Family Physicians, to the American Medical Association, and as well as to the American College of Physicians. None have responded. and said that this is a political issue and have never responded to my emails or said anything. I always said this is a humanitarian issue with the disproportionate response of Israel and killing of civilians. According to a recent study published in January 9th article, the correct number of people dying is about 65,000, which is a capture-recapture analysis, and 60% of them are women and children. So we have this kind of violence against women and children. And the largest of the organizations in the United States are not going to speak up about it. What does that say? Which is exclusively funded by the US tax dollars. We send $38 million every day to Israel. They have universal health care. They have subsidized school, college, university funding based off of our tax dollars. We don't have any of those things even for us, but they have it. So that is why Doctors Against Genocide is standing up and saying this is a humanitarian issue. We ask our lawmakers, our Congress people to stand up with us for the people of Gaza. We are the voice for the people who are being silenced by bombs, who have been maimed, who are raped, who are tortured, who have been put in an open air prison where you cannot leave for any kind of treatment or whatever. So we are the voice for those people. We cannot be bombed and we will not be silenced. We will continue to speak up for them. We want our lawmakers, and the American public has spoken up and they are with us. They all want the people of Gaza to live and to have normal life just like anybody else. So we want to sponsor a bill where we say UNRWA, the organization that has been there, which was actually just to be there as a refugee until the refugees have a Palestinian state, which we hope that we will have one day, that be restored and we can collaborate with them and have a medical mission that comes and goes just like anywhere in the world, so that the best of the US doctors, psychologists, social workers, veterinarians, whoever is needed, so that we can provide services for them from the US tax dollars. And I ask the American people to support us for that. We are the voice for people of Gaza, of West Bank, and for everywhere where there is genocide. We will not be silenced. Thank you.
There's no 5 minutes. Currently, you're doing an active demonstration to bring attention to your cause. It's an active demonstration.
It's not a demonstration. It's doctors talking.
It doesn't matter. There's no press.
Their job. We're doing our job.
You're not allowed to do it in the building. If not, then we'll start giving warnings, and you all will be arrested, whoever's involved.
You know what, Dr. Kopi,
He's the winner of a Nobel Peace
Nobel Prize winner. Please, just 2 minutes. Please. That's it.
No, we're
What
done.
if they turn off the
It's
cameras?
done.
Then it's not active.
No, it's done.
Across the street, can't be like 5 feet over. That's considered all.
Okay, so if we can get like 20 people out there, they can speak to the media?
As long as you're not doing blocking sidewalks, no projections towards the building as far as bullhorns, something like that, no blocking streets.
Yeah, we're just physicians. There's no bullhorn.
All right.
It's just
Doctors.
It doesn't
trying to
matter.
talk.
I understand that, but you can't do it here. You can't have press conference here.
So we can't. Doctors.
One of the things that Israel has been doing is targeting the healthcare system. So 5 years ago, I found in Gaza that there was no cancer treatment available because chemotherapy and radiation agents were being blocked at the border. So that the death rate for breast cancer in Gaza was twice what the death rate was in Israel 10 miles away. And since October 7th, Israel has just made it more explicit. So I want to give an example of a young man named Haitham, who I happen to know, a graduate from medical school at Al-Azhar University. He was working in an ambulance in Gaza City, and an Israeli sniper, as part of policy, this wasn't a renegade one-off, attacked the ambulance, shot it up. There were several patients, 2 doctors, and a driver. Everybody was killed except for young Hytham. Hytham was shot in the abdomen. He stumbled out of the ambulance, and he was shot again, destroying his femur, left in the road to die, and was fortunate that another ambulance came and picked him up, and his life was saved, but he can't walk. He's a young man in his 20s, still seeing patients from a wheelchair. So, as part of that, Israel has destroyed every hospital in Gaza, has specifically kidnapped doctors for torture. A well-known orthopedic surgeon was taken to their torture prison and was raped to death. Raped to death. So Israel thumbs its nose, and I could say it less politely, at international law. And the United States says, fine, go ahead, do whatever you want. So what has to happen is that the United States has to do the right thing, stop sending money and bombs to Israel, and to call immediately for a Palestinian state, for self-determination for the Palestinian people. Not call for the people of Gaza to be expelled so that Gaza can be turned into a Riviera with no doubt a Trump Tower in the middle of it. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Mariam Kamal. I am a veterinarian, a member of Doctors Against Genocide, and co-founder of Animal Healthcare Workers Against Genocide. In the veterinary field, we proudly believe in a concept called One Health, which means that human, animal, and environmental health are all connected. But if you damage one, you damage all. And I represent animal healthcare workers and animal advocates all across the country and the world who are direly concerned that the United States government is disrespecting and disregarding these connections by fueling the genocide in Palestine. There are humans, there are not just humans being massacred in Palestine, and we are devastated and infuriated by the massacre of people, animals, and environments. We are direly concerned about the brutal violence against people and animals. And also, the U.S. military is fueling climate collapse through all of the weapons that continue to be sent to Israel. We are calling on all healthcare workers who care for humans and animals to join us in demanding all the things Doctors Against Genocide is demanding today, including that we do not want any U.S. military or weapons sent to occupy Gaza or to be deployed in Gaza. As well, we call for the reinstatement of UNRWA funding and the release of all of the thousands of Palestinian hostages that are being held and tortured in Israel, including